People pleasing is when you put your own needs aside to make other people happy. You put your own needs aside and say yes to everything, even when you want to say no because you're afraid of the consequences, or you're afraid that people are not going to like you. And when you do these people pleasing tendencies for so long, you lose yourself, you lose touch with yourself and your feelings, and you also fail to set boundaries because you are allowing it, and you are allowing the disrespect just for people to stay, or just so people can like you and love you. And one of the ways in which your parents teach you to become a people pleaser is when they put so much emphasis on getting grades. Yeah, you are only praised when you get good grades, and if you're failing, you are left alone. You are a disgrace, you are casted outside. I know that wanting high grades for your kids means that you want what's best for them, but it just takes a wrong turn when you base their entire existence, their entire worth, when you base how much you will love them, how much you like them, based on the kind of grades that they get. They only like you when you get high grades. When you get low grades, they hate you, and they don't seek for you the help that you need. You just get left behind, and all the love, the likeness, the praise, the approval gets transferred to the other sibling that is doing well. The other sibling will get praised, and you will be left behind to deal with your own misery, to deal with your own disgrace, to deal with your own disgust. So then as a child, of course, you want your parents to like you. So then you might end up wanting to do well for yourself, which is good. You might end up wanting to do well for yourself. So then you do well, or you come back, you show them the grades, and then they are happy. And then it goes on and on and on and on and on. So then after a while, you start thinking that, oh, it's in order for your parents to like you, it means that you have to get good grades. Now, getting good grades is good for yourself, for your future, and perhaps for other people around you, but it's just wrong to think that in order for your parents to like you, you have to get good grades. They should like you regardless. Yeah, your worth isn't surrounded on you getting good grades. They should like you whether you get good grades or not, but you should strive for good grades. And one of the ways in which your parents also turn you into a people pleaser is that whenever you sense that a conflict is about to happen, you try to do things so it doesn't happen. It's like you are managing their emotions. It's like you are managing the flood. Because you've been living with them for so long, you can sense when a fight is about to happen. You can sense when they're about to slap the living soul out of you. So then you try to be nice. Maybe you might clean the house, you might clean their room, you might fold their clothes, you might sweep the garden, you might mop the sink, iron the roof, like whatever you feel like you can do to calm them down. Yeah, to like calm them down so they don't explode, which is very, very wrong. Okay, and you started doing that because every time a conflict occurs, you are the one who is blamed for it. Every time something gets out of control in the house, you are blamed. Even when you are not around, they still blame you for the things that goes wrong in the house, because it happened to me. Even when I moved out for uni and something happened, they blame me. Because when it comes to these parents, they don't take any accountability. They always want someone to blame. Everything that happens, they blame someone. Yeah, and they choose a specific child to blame, and normally that child is the scapegoat or the black sheep. I have a video coming up on that soon. That child is the scapegoat, the child in which they blame all their disappointment, all their misery, all their sadness, all their low self-esteem. So everything that is trash about themselves, that's the kid they choose to blame those things upon. It's like the scapegoat is the parents' emotional dump site. You are the one they dump everything on to make themselves feel better. Okay, so whenever you sense that a conflict is about to occur, you try to avoid it by being nice, being a good child. You try to make yourself a certain way. You try to behave a way that they will like. So like you start doing things that caters to them, that caters to the things that they like, so that they would like you and the conflict won't happen. Which is really, really wrong. If they want to blow up, let them blow. Okay, they are the one with issues. They are the one with huge anger issues. They are the one that is acting like your boyfriend, like they're in a relationship with you, like they're in a romantic relationship with you. Yeah, growing up, my mother acted like she was my boyfriend or something. They are the ones with issues that needs to be sorted out. Instead of making you feel responsible for those emotions, instead of making you feel like you are the problem, like before things even happens in the house, you already know that it's your fault. And when you go out there and you are in relationship with other people that are work, friendships, colleagues, students, mates, whenever something goes wrong, you think that it's your fault. You think that you did something wrong first, and then you end up apologizing first because you want to please them, you want to make them happy. So then you end up apologizing first to like protect yourself. You end up trying to settle things. You end up like over explaining yourself. You end up stressing. You have anxiety. You can't sleep. You are worried, and then it makes you settle things first, apologize things first to like protect yourself so that nothing bad happens to you, because they've engraved fear in you. That's one thing that is needed for abuse to work and carry on working, is that they try to impose fear in you, and that fear in you is what keeps it going. So one thing that I've actually realized is that an abuser needs your permission to abuse it, because they like the fact that you are scared. Having a fear of the unknown, they feed off that energy. It helps the abuse carries on. So because you are scared, you are worried, you rushes to apologize first. You do this for them, you do that for them to avoid conflict. And sometimes this shows up in women's relationships with other men. Even when they've done something wrong, they'll go and apologize to the man. And this also happens because in the African community, whenever something happens in the house, even if you the child, you are right, you the child is the one who is forced to apologize. Even when the adult is right, they will not do anything to the adult because it's an adult. And just because you are a child, you are forced to apologize. Even when you are right, they will still make you apologize. And then you go out there in the world and apologize for things that you didn't even cause. You apologize for things that you didn't even do. And these things is also what makes gaslighting easy. It makes it easy for people to gaslight you, because you already think and believe that everything that goes wrong is your fault. Nothing is your fault. If you truly believe that you haven't done something, it's not your fault. You don't have to take the blame. Or like sometimes because you're scared of the consequences, because you are scared, because we have fear of the unknown, you take the blame so that everyone just shut up. You take the blame so that it will bring peace in the house. You take the blame so that things will cool down. You don't have to take the blame to please everyone, because as time goes on, when you take the blame to keep the peace around you, it starts a war within you. You start getting angry. You get resentment. You start having resentment because there's so much war growing inside of you. You are taking in so much things that you didn't do. It's starting a war within you. You don't have to take anything. It's not your fault. Like I said, if you truly believe that you haven't done something, you don't have to take the blame. It wasn't you, and do not allow them to guilt trip you to take the blame. Do not allow them to force you to swallow the blame, because it's not your fault. Okay, don't take anything. They need someone to take the blame to avoid accountability. They need someone to take the blame to avoid apologizing. They need someone to take the blame because they are gods and they can do nothing wrong. You don't have to take the blame. And one of the ways in which people pleasing shows up in your life is that growing up, you learn that your parents will only like you if you agree with them or if you're on their side. Because let's say you're having a conversation with your parents. Whenever you shared your ideas, whenever you used your brain, they get angry because they just want you to agree with them. And eventually you learn that when you agree with them, they are happy. When you don't agree with them, they get angry and they hate you for it. So because you're a kid, you are growing up, you want your parents' approval, you agree with everything they say so that they will like you, which is wrong. You don't have to agree with them. And then when you grow up in the world, because all your life you've been agreeing with your parents, it wipes out the analytical side of your brain. Because all that you know how to do is to agree. It makes you a follower. Okay? It makes you a follower. And if all that you do is to agree, it makes you easy to manipulate. It makes you easy to convince, because you've been saying yes, so you've been agreeable for so long. You agree to things without even listening. And that particular thing happened to me. And when they are speaking to you, they speak to you like this. So then if someone is speaking to you and they're like this, you agree with everything they say. So then it went on for so long. The moment they start speaking, I'll just be like, yeah. Even if they're just saying hi, I'll be like, because I've been trained to be that way. Literally, every time someone opened their mouth, I'll just be like. And most times you were forced to agree. You were forced to suck it up. You were forced to take it in. Or like they made you think that if you don't do it, then something bad is going to happen. Or they would take something away from you. Whether they would take the phone that they bought for you, they would take the computer. They would, in fact, they might take you out. So you have to agree. It's like they make you feel like you don't have any choice. So you have to agree. And do what they like, not what you like. So then you agree. Out of your own will, out of your own cause, you agree to avoid not being liked. And sometimes too, yeah, when you don't agree, they make life a living hell for you. They make you feel unwanted. It's like they treat you bad, so you agree. It's like they abuse you to come to them. Yeah, they make you feel left out. For me, they made me feel left out. And when they made me feel left out, they told my siblings that I'm the one that have left myself out. If I'm coming to you and you're making me feel unwanted and left out, why would I come? Why would I go to a place whereby I feel like I'm not wanted? Why would I go to a place whereby when they see me, they get angry? Yeah, I would rather enter a room whereby when people see me, their eyes light up. I want to enter a room where people are happy to see me, where people are happy to embrace me, where people are happy to welcome me, not to a room where I enter and then all of a sudden it's silent. And then this person looks at the other person and then they look down and this other person looks at the other way and then they're looking like you like this is what my parents were doing, especially my mother. But there were times, I don't know, she would just do something like what does that even mean? Let's say I'm talking, yeah, then she would just do something like, what does that mean? I don't even know what that means. Yeah, so if I'm coming near you and this is all that you are doing, why would I want to come near you? And this is also some of the reasons why kids don't want to come out of their rooms, because the minute they step out, you are body shaming them, you are calling them names, you are insulting them, you're making them feel like shit. The minute they come out, you ruin their mood. So why do they want to come out? They want to stay in their room all day, because the minute they see you, you're going to ruin their mood for the entire day. That was me at one point. I didn't want to come out of my room because the moment they see me, they're going to ruin my mood. Yeah, they will ruin your mood for the entire day. Okay, so then in order for them to like you, you will agree with them. Even when you don't like it, like you agree with them, you will sacrifice your needs to do the things they want you to do. You will sacrifice yourself, you will sacrifice the things you really want just so they can like you. Sometimes you might even go as far as sacrificing your food just so they can like you, which is really, really wrong. And then you go out in the world and you become a follower. Because it blocks out the analytical part of your brain, you don't know how to think for yourself because you were taught to be an agreeable person. And most of the time, yeah, people like people who are agreeable, people who are easy to convince or manipulate. So you go out in the world, you only know how to agree. Whenever something is happening, you just agree. Whenever someone says something, you just agree. You don't think to think something else. You don't think there's a better choice out there because your parents made you think that you didn't have a choice and that this is the only thing you can get. This is a one-in-a-lifetime, the one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So then it makes your brain think that whenever an opportunity is presented in front of you, that you have to take it, otherwise you will never see it again. Yeah, this is actually a fear that I once had, that if something comes and I don't grab it now, I might not have it again. And I learned to stop having that fear. Okay, because whatever that is meant for you is waiting for you. Whatever that is meant for you is right there. Like literally, it's right there waiting for you and it's only yours. It's not gonna go anywhere. It makes you rush into things because you feel like if you don't hurry up and agree, then something is going to happen. You don't know what's coming. So then it makes you rush into things that you later end up regretting. Yeah, because your parents made you agreeable. Your parents rushed you into decisions, and most of the time, yeah, they have to rush you into choosing those things because it's a lie, because they are trying to manipulate you, because it's something that interests them, and most importantly, because it's a lie. So if they don't rush you and get you to do it quickly, you might realize that it's a lie and back out, which is similar to what scammers do. They rush the process. They tell you that, oh, it's a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you don't get it now, then it's going to go away, to make you think that you will never ever see it again, and then you put that money for it and all your money gets taken. And that's where it begins from. And because you've been forced to be agreeable and agreeable and agreeable, you are afraid to say no. Again, they've already implanted that fear of something bad going to happen if you say no. So then it makes you scared to say no. And you have no boundaries, because your parent has already overstepped and smashed them. That happened to me. So I had to learn to set boundaries and not allow people to play in my face. Yeah? Your parent has already overstepped and smashed and flattened that boundary. So that when you go out there, you allow people to walk in your face. You can't say no. People can make you do things you don't want to do. Like, sometimes you don't even know that you can say no. I heard this story somewhere on TikTok. This girl that didn't even know that she can say no or set boundaries because of what her upbringing was like. And it's true. Because sometimes that's all you know. If this is what you've been introduced to your entire life, that's all you know. You don't know that you can be this. You don't know that this exists. This is all you know, so you live your life this way. And even when you say no, it feels uncomfortable. It feels weird, because you don't know how to say no. Or like you feel like, or like sometimes you say no and then you run away. Yeah, you don't even know that you can say no. You don't know that you can make your own decisions, because growing up, decisions were made and forced onto you. You weren't allowed to think and use your own brain. You had to wait for their instructions, otherwise they would get mad. And because you're a kid and you want to make them happy, you will do it. Yeah, it makes you not know how to set boundaries. You allow people to walk all over you. You allow people to disrespect you and take in the disrespect because you don't know how to say no. And sometimes you take the disrespect and allow people to walk all over your face because your parents has taught you that that's okay. And that's also why I believe so many girls or so many people stay in abusive friendships, abusive relationships, because their parents has taught them that it's okay to be abused. In fact, some of them, yeah, their parents even tell them that abuse is expected. What do you mean by abuse is expected in my marriage? What do you mean by, oh, you should expect abuse from your husband, and that when he abuses and slaps you in the face, it makes the marriage sweeter? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Yeah, it teaches you to accept abuse and disrespect to make the other person happy, and then you lose yourself during the entire process. You don't even know who you are anymore. It turns you into something else, someone you can't even recognize. You can't even recognize the new person you've become because you spent your entire life, your entire time, your entire thinking. You spend the whole day planning how to make another person happy, not how to make yourself happy. And when it comes to these people, nothing you do is ever enough. You are never ever going to be enough because they are not even enough for themselves. Nothing you do will ever be enough because they don't even know what they want, let alone know what to accept. So you can start to kill your people-pleasing tendencies by learning how to set boundaries. It's okay to say no. Saying no is not going to kill you. Like, I've seen stories of people on TikTok whereby they said that the first time they said no to their parents was when they were like 24 years old or 30 years old because they were afraid to say no, or they didn't even know that they could say no. So start off by learning how to say no. Set boundaries for yourself. People has to respect you. Do not allow anyone to walk all over you. If someone wants to walk all over you, block them. Do not be afraid of being alone. If you're afraid of being alone, it's because your parents threatened you with being alone. My parents threatened me to being alone. They threatened me to being alone. I said, oh, no man will marry you. If you go and live at uni and when you come home, your brothers won't be there to welcome you. You're going to be, okay. You will only be alone. You will only feel alone if you feel lonely. Feeling lonely is something that someone has implanted inside of you. As a human being, you should be comfortable with your own presence. You should be comfortable in your own energy. You should be comfortable sitting down in your own mind and marinating in your own energy and in your own thoughts. That's what you should do as a human. Do not feel lonely. No one is coming for you. Nothing is going to happen. Learn to say no. Learn to do things at your own interest. Learn to make decisions that are going to benefit you. Learn to make decisions that will bring peace to you. Not to bring peace with other people and start a war inside of you. No. Choose yourself. Okay? Choose you in every situation. Choose you. It's not wrong to choose you. Okay? Do not allow people to play in your face. Because if you allow people to play in your face and you keep quiet, they will just carry on. Because when it comes to these abusers, this is how their brain works. If they're abusing you and you are quiet and doing nothing about it, you're just allowing them to go on and on. That's what they will do. They will come and abuse you. Because as a people pleaser, you think that if you keep quiet, if you keep on doing this, if you keep on doing that, then maybe one day they will change. They are not going to change. They've already shown you who they are. Believe them. Believe people when they show you who they are. You don't have to be like, oh, I see their potential. I know they're a good person. I'm just going to carry on being good. I'm just going to carry on being nice to them. I know that they'll be nice to me. No. This is also the reason why so many girls stays in abusive relationships. They are not going to be nice to you. If they're abusing you and you're still there, they will carry on doing it. In fact, they will get worse. Have you realized that every time you try to pray for them, they get worse? Every time you want what's best for them, every time you hope for what's best for them, they get worse. They're going to get worse each and every single time. In fact, they think you're a fool. They think you are stupid because you're allowing them to abuse you. Deep down, that's what they think. And they know that they can play in your face because they know that you will accept it because you want to please and you want to make them happy. No, it ends today. Okay? Choose yourself. Set boundaries, know who you are, and live by it.